Hello everybody. In our last classes we covered the concepts for complex numbers. So in this lecture we will cover the problems. Okay, so let's start. Yeah, this is the problem. Here we have to find out which one is true. So 1 plus I greater than 2 plus I, and this is 2 plus I greater than 1 plus I. Option 3 is this and option 4 is none. So which one is true? First thing is, this is real number comparison is not true, and complex number cannot be compared like this unless it is a mod of the complex number. These things, simple complex numbers, cannot be compared with the inequality sign like this. So these two are also not true, so none. This option is true here. None. See, next problem is, if 1 plus I into 2 plus I into 3 plus I dot n plus I equal to a plus ib, then we have to prove that 2 into 5 into 10 n square plus 1 equal to this. So we have to find a clue from here. First thing is that from a plus ib, how can we reach a square plus b square? What is a square plus b square? It is a square minus I square b square. Okay. Actually, if I do it in little bit more detail, then this is a square minus I square b square. So a plus ib into a minus ib. Simple formula for a square minus b square. A plus b into a minus b. So a square plus b square is actually this. So what we can do, we have the value of a plus ib. We will try to find out a minus ib first. Okay. So as this is an identity, so suppose we know z1 equal to z2, then z1 bar equal to z2 bar. If z1 equal to z2, z3, z4, so what it becomes? z1 bar equal to this. That means bar can be separated like this. We know this. We will use this one. This property we will use to solve this. So first we will replace I with minus I on both sides. So a minus ib equal to I with minus I everywhere. So 1 minus I, 2 minus I dot n minus I. And now we have a plus ib equal to 1 plus I, 2 plus I dot n plus I. So multiply these two. As we have already seen, the a square plus b square equal to a minus ib into a plus ib. So we have to multiply left hand side. So definitely right hand side also need to be multiplied. So this is left hand side. Right hand side, while multiplying, make sure we multiply the complex number, those are conjugate here. So here also it's conjugate, so we get a real number, a square plus b square. We get what? If we just a plus b, a minus b, so a square minus I square b square. So actually I square equal to minus 1, so it is this. So similarly, when you multiply this, you get 1 minus I square. Here 2 square minus I square. Actually 1 square minus I square, 2 square minus I square. Next one 3 square minus I square dot n square minus I square. Now put I square equal to minus 1. So 1 plus 1, what it is? 2. 4 plus 1, it is 5. 9 plus 1, it is 10. See, it is matching with 2, 5, 10. And this is n square plus 1. So a square plus b square equal to this. It is proved. Okay? We need to simplify this one. So we know, we have discussed this property like I to the power 4k plus 1 is equal to I, because we know I to the power 4 equal to 1. So we can write this like this into I. So I to the power 4 is 1. So 1 to the power k is 1. It is I. So I to the power 4k plus 1 is I to the power 4k plus 2 I square, 4k plus 3 I cube, 4k plus 4 is I to the power 4. Till this, this property we can use. So we will write every power in the multiple of 4 first. If it is completely done, then it's okay. Otherwise we will adjust some values, like for here it is 4 7s are 28. It is also completely done. Here also it is completely done. So I to the power 4 to the power 100, I to the power 4 to the power 75, I to the power 4 to the power 25 plus, sorry, this is I to the power 1 is given, so I. This is I to the power 4 equal to 1, 1 to the power 100 is 1. Here also 1 to the power 75 1. Here also 1 to the power 20 1 plus I. So it is 3 plus I is the answer. It looks like a very big quantity, but if you know this I to the power 4k plus 1, 4k plus 2, I to the power 4k plus 3 is what? So easily you can just simplify it. Suppose these are all exact multiples of 4. Suppose if it is 401. So what we will do, 4 into 100, nearest multiple of 4, to that you will just break it, plus whatever is remaining, 1 is remaining, you will keep it as it is. So I to the power 4 into I to the 4k plus 1, it is in that form. So it is I. It is I. Similarly, if any other number it is given like 401, 402, 403, you can use this to make those I to the 401 to I to the 402 to I square, I to the 403 to I cube, like this. And then you can solve. Now in this problem, x plus 3y and minus 2 plus yi are conjugate complex. So x by y equal to what? First thing is that x plus 3i is equal to what? Conjugate of this. These are conjugate complex to each other. So what it will be? Minus 2 minus. How we get a conjugate complex? Just put minus I in place of I. So it will be this. Now we have discussed like when a complex number is given on both sides of the equal sign, so it is always true that real part should be matching with real part and imaginary part should be matching with imaginary part. So by equating the real part we get x equal to minus 2. By equating the imaginary part, what we will get? Minus 3. So x by y becomes minus 2 by minus 3 equal to 2 by 3. Okay, so we move to next problem. So this is the next problem, that is 10 a complex number? If so, why? We know that 10 is a real number, but it also a complex number, as I have already explained in the last class, that every complex number, what is a complex number? Complex number is any number which can be expressed in a plus ib form. So here 10 can be expressed like 10 plus I into 0. Here a and b are real number. So b can be 0. There is no restriction on that. So I can express 10 as this. So it is a complex number. The reason is this. Is 10 a complex number? Answer is yes. If so, why? Because we can express it in a plus ib form. And every complex number, part of the complex number is real number, because every real number is a complex number. Any real number, whether it's a rational number or irrational number, every number can be expressed as a plus ib. So all are complex number. Even 0 is also a complex number. See, now we have to solve this problem. So how can we go about this? We will write this equal to minus 27. So x plus 5 will become minus 27 to the power 1/3. Okay, so we will write minus, we will take minus 3, we can write it like this, to the power 1/3. Then from minus 27 to the power 1/3 I will get minus 3 out and 1 to the power 1/3. See, I took out this minus 27 and kept 1 to the power 1 by 3. You may think that why am I doing like this? Because the reason is, it's a equation. When I am taking cube root of something, I should get 3 values, because it's a equation with x cube, so it will have 3 roots. So when I am taking the 1/3 of the value, it should give me 3 values. So when I am calculating this value, it's permitted to put this, and if we keep 1 to the power 1 by 3. Why? I will give you one example to clarify this. If this, so what it is actually plus minus 4, but I can write it like this, 16 into 1. So x, what I will take, I will write it as 4. I won't take any plus minus, but I take this root. At that moment I can give it plus minus, so total result come plus minus 4. So from the result, what we can do, we can take out some factor and do a simple calculation, root or cube root, anything, but I will keep some part intact. Okay, if I have to calculate root, then I will keep some part root under root in such a way that it should give me 2 solution, because as long as I keep root, it will give me 2 solution. So I will multiply with this so that I will get 2 solution. So even though I have taken minus 3 as minus 27 to the power 1/3, but I am keeping 1 to the power 1/3 so that it will give me 3 solution, and multiplying with minus 3 I will have 3 solution. So that's a shortcut way of finding the cube root of this, and x plus 5 we can calculate. Because why shortcut? Because you know cube root of 1 is what? This is equal to this. Cube root of 1 is 1 omega square. Okay, so this means what? When you calculate this, it will give me one root as minus 3 into 1, another root as this, another root as this. So this becomes x plus 5. So what will be x? Take plus 5 to the other side, so it will be minus 5, so it will be minus 8. Next part will be minus 5 minus 3 omega, third part minus 5 minus 3 omega square. Okay, so just remember this trick, because somewhere in the exam, if they give this type of solution, don't just give them one root, you have to give them 3 root, and for that you have to break the right side into either 1 to the power 1/3 or minus 1 to the power 1/3 in some form, so that for that cube root of 1 you have the values readily available to you as 1 omega square, anything x cube. If anyone gives me x cube plus suppose 1 to 5, I know it is a 5 cube. Okay, so what it will have? Minus 5 cube. So x will be what? Minus 5 cube to the power 1/3. I could have readily written it minus 5, but that's the only real part. So what I will do, then this part I will take out. So it will be minus 5 and 1 to the power 1/3 remains. It will give me 1 omega square. So x will be minus 5 omega and minus 5 omega square. If root over of x plus iy equal to a plus ib, then prove root over x minus iy equal to a minus ib. I will prove it in 2 ways. One is with a general concept with a little bit lengthier. Other will be a shortcut way. First, I have this, so I will square both sides. So x plus iy equal to a plus ib whole square, so a square minus b square plus I into 2ab. So comparing real and imaginary part, I will get dx equal to this and 2ab equal to y. So I need to find out x minus, I need to prove this. Okay, so x minus iy, I will first find out this. So x is this minus iy, I into y. Again this is what? Minus 1. So I will put, instead of minus, I will write I square. So this is again a minus ib whole square. A square plus b square minus 2 into a and ib. So this is, so root over of x minus iy is what? Actually it is plus minus. So one value is this, so this is proved. Okay. You can write plus minus, then you will prove. So the one value is a minus ib, so this is equal to a minus ib, so this is proved. This is from a general concept of equating both sides, real equal to real and imaginary equal to imaginary. But I will show you another way. We know that if z is a complex number, then nth root of z is also a complex number. We know that. Okay. So if root x plus iy equal to a plus ib, so this is also a complex number, this is also a complex number. So let's take bar on both sides. Because we know when we take a bar, that means a complex conjugate. So just put I equal to minus I. So it is a minus ib. Proof. See, this is proved. This is in MCQ you can follow this approach, because if they can give fifth root of this. Okay, so and so prove this fifth root. So in a general way, what we used earlier is as it was a simple root, so we squared both sides, then equated real and imaginary part. But where it is given, suppose fifth root, so you have to take a whole to the power 5 on both sides and see the pain when you break it. Okay, a plus ib to the power 5, it will be a painful. So don't go that way. For MCQ it is like, if fifth root is this, so bar of this should be equal to this. So you can readily see that if they ask what is the value of this, then there are 4 options. So you know it is a minus ib. Simple. Taking bar of that. This is the problem. If mod z plus 5 less than equal to 6, then it is given that mod z plus 2 is within this a and b. So find ab. So this problem can be given in a different way, like find maximum and minimum value of mod z plus 2. Like from here it is given in a different way. So maximum value is what? B. The minimum value is what? A. Because mod z plus 2 is less than equal to b, that means maximum value b. And then mod z plus 2 is greater than equal to a. Just reverse it. So this greater than equal to a, so minimum value is a. So let's try to find out. Mod of z plus 2, we can write, we have this given, so I will use this. So I will write z plus 5. Then I know I have to make it mine. I have to subtract 3. Then only I make it z plus 2. Or I can write this way. So mod z1 plus z2, this is in the form of mod z1 plus z2, so it is less than equal to mod of z1 plus mod of z2. Okay. Here again this is a real number, but it will be treated as a complex number. So mod z plus 5 is less than equal to 6. and mod of minus 3 is 3. So it is actually 6 plus 3 is 9. So mod z plus 2 less than equal to 9. So b is 9. So the maximum value is 9. Less than equal to 9 means maximum value 9. Again, what is the minimum value? We know that mod of any complex number is always greater than equal to 0. So here mod of z plus 2 greater than equal to a equal to 0. So the minimum value will be 0. See, it is a little bit on the same kind which I solved in first problem today. X plus, I know x square plus y square can be achieved by multiplying this x plus iy into x minus iy. Okay. So I have x plus iy, so I will calculate x minus iy. So this is given x plus iy equal to a plus ib into c plus id. So I will take bar on both sides. So conjugate of this becomes this. Conjugate of this becomes conjugate of this into conjugate of this. That means a minus ib into c minus it. Now multiply these two. So x plus iy and x minus iy, if I multiply, so become x square minus I square y square. So x square plus y square. Similarly, a plus ib into a minus ib becomes a square plus b square, and c plus id and c minus id becomes this. So this is proved. Now let's take one example to represent a number like 1 plus I root 3 into modulus amplitude form. So this is what? This is x plus iy format. We need to put it in modulus amplitude. That means r into cos theta plus I sin theta, where r is called the modulus and theta is called the amplitude, and theta when nothing is said, so it is the principal value of argument or principal amplitude. So and its range should be followed like this. Principal value follow this range. So first what we will do, we will find modulus. Modulus is what? X plus iy. Modulus becomes x square plus y square. Real part square plus imaginary part square, then root. So it becomes 1 plus 3 equal to 4. It is always 2. So r is 2. What is theta? We know theta, if theta is amplitude of any complex number, then tan theta is what? Tan theta becomes imaginary part by real part. Again one thing, this is equivalent to 0.1 root 3, 1 comma root 3. So in the Argand plane, it is in the first quadrant. So if it is in the first quadrant, any point comes in the first quadrant, and we have discussed, actually this range becomes pi by 2 to 0. That is again within that actual range was this, but when it is in the first quadrant, then range becomes a little bit more constricted to this one. Okay, pi by 2 to 0. That is completely following this range. So no issue. So within pi by 2 to 0, we need to find tan theta. Now we know this is theta is in the when the point is in the first quadrant, we can take simple value like tan 60 degree or pi by 3. So theta is what? Pi by 3. So this, when 1 plus I root 3 is represented in modulus amplitude form, it will be r, that is 2 cos theta plus I sin theta. Okay, this is the answer. Let's try to find out root of I. What root of I actually is? I is what? I is nothing. I itself is a root of minus 1. So how can you put that? I will make it half into 2i, then half I will take it out as 1 by root 2. I have 2i, okay, 2i. I will make 1 minus 1, then again minus 1, I can write 1 plus I square. So see, it's coming in a 1 whole square form. So actually the answer is root I equal to, actually the question is root I, then you can go this way, that's okay, because the sign is already assumed as plus. But normally they will ask like what is the root of I, then you have to start with plus minus here, then all plus minus will follow, plus minus 1 by root 2 1 plus I. Now suppose Z1, Z2, Z3 are the vertices of equilateral triangle. Okay, this is a little bit tougher problem. Equilateral triangle. So we need to show, what we need to prove is 1 by Z1 minus Z2 by 1 by Z2 minus Z3 plus 1 by Z3 minus Z1 equal to 0. So let consider alpha equal to Z1 minus Z2, beta equal to Z2 minus Z3, gamma equal to Z3 minus Z1. So we know alpha plus beta plus gamma equal to 0. So the conjugate of this is also 0. That means alpha bar plus beta bar plus gamma bar equal to 0. Now we know that this is a equilateral triangle. So distance between Z1 and Z2 is what? Mod of Z1 minus Z2. So that means mod of actually alpha equal to mod of beta, again Z2 minus Z3. These three distances are equal. This is again Z3 minus Z1. So distance, these three distances are equal. So actually square also will be equal. So mod alpha square means alpha alpha bar, beta beta bar, gamma gamma bar equal to, suppose k is a constant, any real value. So alpha bar is equal to what? I will put it here now. So what alpha bar becomes? Alpha bar becomes k by alpha. Alpha bar becomes k by alpha, beta bar k by beta, and gamma bar becomes k by gamma equal to 0. So it is k by alpha, 1 by alpha plus 1 by beta plus 1 by gamma equal to 0. Alpha is this, beta is this, gamma is this. So this is proved. We need to find out this where mod beta equal to 1. Alpha beta are complex numbers. So mod beta 1 means mod of beta square 1. That means beta beta bar equal to 1. Why I am doing this? Because I know mod beta, but I cannot use mod beta here directly. I know mod beta, but I cannot use mod beta directly here. So I am making beta beta bar. I am coming to this form. Then I will use beta value here. Okay. So this will become mod of beta minus alpha by 1 minus alpha bar. Beta is 1 by beta bar. So I will put it here. So it becomes this. So now beta bar, after calculation it goes up, and this becomes beta bar minus alpha bar. So beta bar minus alpha bar I can write this way also. Now mod of Z1 Z2 I can write it as mod Z1 into mod Z2. Okay, now we know that we know that mod of beta minus alpha and mod of beta minus alpha to the power bar we know that this is two complex number, that means mod of z1 by z2. First thing is the mod beta bar can be mod beta, because we know mod z bar and mod z is same. Here we will break it. Mod of z1 by z2 is mod z1 by mod z2. So here also mod z bar becomes mod z. This cancels, mod beta remains, it is 1. We need to prove this, but we cannot, we don't know like where from to start. So for that, to get a clue from where to start, as we have seen this trick that we started from actually what I need to prove, then we reached a situation or condition which is readily true, and from there actually we started. So let me proceed in that way. Let me proceed, then you will understand what I am trying to say here. If this less than equal to this, that means whole square of this is less than equal to whole square of this. So 2 and mod of x plus iy equal to root over of x square plus y square. So it is actually x square plus y square. So let's transfer everything into that side. So it becomes x square plus y square minus 2 of mod x mod y. So mod x minus mod y whole square greater than equal to 0, that we know that for these real numbers this is always true. So that is the point from where we should start. That's why sometimes we need to take the answer as a starting point and go from, actually I will say, from behind to the front side, where from we actually start. This is the front side. So front side, actually from here we will start. So actually from behind to front side I am going. So now I will simplify it. X square plus y square minus 2 mod x mod y greater than equal to 0. So mod x square plus mod y square greater than 2 mod x mod y, or we can write other side in the left side. So 2 mod x mod y is less than equal to this. See, this greater than equal to this, that means this less than equal to this, what I have written. Now I will add x square plus y square on both sides. So this become 2 into x square plus y square. See, when x and y are real, so mod x square and x square are the same thing, mod y square and y square are the same thing. But mod x and x is not the same thing, mod y and y are not the same thing, because x and y can be negative but mod is always positive. So square we can interchangeably write mod x square to y x square to mod x square, but we cannot change this. So this part is actually whole square, this part is actually root 2 whole square, and this is this whole square. So mod x plus mod y is less than equal to root 2 into this whole square vanishes, so root x square plus y square is actually mod of x plus iy. Okay, so this is proved. So that's all. We covered almost all type of problems here. So in the next topic we move to some other things, other concepts, and we will come back to these chapters again when we solve the JEE type problems. So till then, practice these problems so that you have a better idea, so that we can proceed together on the tougher problems. Okay, thank you.